Why do you fade it when I have a cup of coffee in my hand? You did that to me.
I was just testing to see how you could pick up.
How quickly I could swallow the coffee? Okay. Well, I swallowed the coffee, and now I'm ready to go. All right, folks, welcome to Thursday. We got a lot of information to discuss today, and I hope that you guys have your wool. You know what wool is good for? Wool is not just good for cold. Wool is good for damp and cold. Cold and damp. That's why you want wool. That's why you want an awesome wool-rich shirt like the one I'm wearing today. And yes, it is cold in the South. Now, I know you guys up north are like, you don't know what cold is. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, that's what I get for posting a picture on Facebook the other day from the Hard Rock parking garage. It said, "What winter?"
Yeah, good job, douche. That was, Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Yeah, it was Sunday. That was really nice.
Sunday it was 75 degrees.
And sunny.
Yeah, Sunday it was 75 degrees and sunny. Monday at noon it was 45 degrees and cloudy. And now we've got thunder and freezing rain, and it's nasty. So we're with you. We hope that you're someplace warm and dry, and whether you're driving or in your office pretending that you're working, whatever you happen to be doing, we're glad that you decided to join us for Student of the Gun Radio today. I am your host, Professor Paul Markle, here in the official Glass Case of Emotion Studios. And on the other side of the board, working the knobs and all that good jazz, you know who it is. Who is it? It's Jared. That's right. My co-host, my producer, the webmaster who is losing his hair. Can I say...
They're going to make me go gray.
Can I say fornicate, hostgator? Can I say that on the air?
Yeah.
All right. Fornicate, hostgator, just FYI. And one of our good friends in the industry who's really big into the interwebs, their site's down today too. So I don't know what's going on in the world that we can't get the server issues right, but thank the Lord that the iTunes and Stitcher and...
Yeah, we've got all of our sites are up except for the studentofthegun.com and the blog.
Yeah.
We got radios up, Patriot Fire Team's up.
And no, it's not that we have, retarded monkeys that are doing our stuff. We did everything right. That's the frustrating thing about it, is when you do everything right and then some faceless moron in Utah or Nevada.
They're in Texas, actually.
Texas. Way to go. I bet they're in Austin.
I don't know where they are, but
they would have to be, because
I'm about to find their address.
That's where geeks. We know people in Texas. We might be able to send some people in Texas over to pay them a visit. I bet you that right now there are people in Texas listening to us and that are down with us in the annoyance factor, and they would be willing to take a drive over there and say, "Hey, you need to get this site fixed and pull your cranium out of your rectum."
Yeah.
Well, we've rectum, damn near killed him. All right. We've got a follow-up from Tuesday. Now, we talked on Tuesday about the Mall of America and about how some of our favorite goat rapists have decided they're going to post a video and threaten us. And we're so weak as a country that we just apparently have to take it. When these third world goat rapists threaten us, we're like, "Oh, please don't hurt us, Mr. Goat Rapist, or we promise to be nice to you." I got a quote here from Comrade Barry. And Barry Hussein Sotero got up in front of a microphone in September 2013, just a few days after the mall attack in Nairobi, the Westgate Mall attack. And this, can you guess what Barry Sotero had to say? Well, let me tell you. I'll give you a direct quote. And Barry said, "And the United States will continue to work with the entire continent of Africa," thank goodness, "and around the world to make sure that we are dismantling these networks of destruction."
What's a good thing that worked?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have calendars, right? So in September of 2013, Comrade Barry Sotero got in front of a microphone and told the world that he was going to work with the entire continent of Africa. I'm sure the entire continent of Africa is happy to hear that. And the rest of the world to make sure that we are dismantling. Now, hang on a second, Jared. If you were to go and dismantle something, what would you be dismantling? Would you be dismantling something that someone else built, or would you be dismantling something that you built? Because if you did something, if it was something that another person built or created, you wouldn't really be dismantling it, would you? You'd be destroying it.
Yeah.
So you can only dismantle things that you built or you helped to build.
Well,
maybe not only.
He built everything because you didn't build that.
That's right. You didn't build that. The government built it. You didn't build your business. I'm waiting for the government to come and pay the rent on my facility and pay the electric bill because apparently I didn't build this. So, yeah, we thought you guys would appreciate that follow-up. So next time you hear about our buddies at ISIS or Al-Shabaab or whatever goat rapist of the day happens to be, remember, take heart, because Comrade Barry has, before he went out to golf, he said he was going to dismantle these networks of destruction. And I'm sure that's going really, really well, right? I'm sure it is. We've got something for you after I do the sponsor intros. We've got something for you we haven't had in a while. And I know some of you in Ohio are sad that we haven't had one of these in a while, but we're going to go ahead and give it to you. But
specifically Cincinnati.
Specifically the Cincinnati area, the greater Cincinnati area. We know that you'll be excited to hear this. But don't forget about our friends at Brownells, brownells.com. If you own a gun, Brownells has something for you. Check out their website. I'm sure that you will find something that you can put to good use. And Velocity Triggers, designed for precision. We gave away some Velocity Triggers. We actually have some excited students of the gun out there right now who are putting Velocity Triggers into their black rifles. If you're looking to compete, to hunt, to shoot precision, whatever it is you want to do special with your AR-15, Velocity Triggers has a trigger for you, so check those guys out at velocitytriggers.com. All right, Jared, are you ready to bump me in?
I am ready to bump you in.
Do it, brother.
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Bump, bump. Thanks, Tiny Tim. We appreciate that. And we know you guys out there, you've been jonesing. You've been like, oh, when are they going to do another vagination report? Well, we've got one for you. And, you know,
this is ridiculous.
This is crazy insane. Can we say crazy insane? Is the University of Michigan going to allow us? It may be not only crazy insane, it may be retarded at the same time. But check this noise out, folks. This is one of those things that you just can't make up. You're like, come on now. That can't be true. Well, this source is police1.com. This is an official cop website. And the title of the story is, New York cops told to, quote, close eyes during volatile situations. I'm sorry, excuse me, what now? Tactic was introduced to officers attending an NYPD training session, part of the department's new, quote, smart policing program. So does that mean they're going to stop shooting people on the street, like just randomly launching bullets into passersby?
Well, maybe if they follow this, if they follow this advice, maybe they'll be dead before they have the opportunity to do that.
We want them to keep their eyes open when they're launching bullets. I mean, please. Here's what I thought. I don't even know what I thought. I saw that and I was like, that can't be what I think it is. Well, let's go. Dateline, New York. Police officers have been instructed to close their eyes and engage in breathing exercises when faced with tense and potentially dangerous situations on the beat. According to the New York Post, the tactic was introduced to officers attending an NYPD training session, part of the department's blah, 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 smart policy after the controversial in-custody death of Eric Garner. They said, this is a quote from the source, they said, if you find yourself in a situation that's getting heated, take a step back, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. That said, one of the officers told the Post. That's pretty funny that I would close my eyes in a tense situation. Who are the hippie liberal morons teaching these people? The program has been reportedly been widely criticized by cops. No, what? Come on now. I can't believe that. One department official told the Post that around 80% of the officers who attended the training considered a waste of time. The news comes days after The Post reported that former Deputy Commissioner of Training Michael Julian suggested officers spray protesters with I didn't know this. Okay.
Oh, you didn't see the baby oil breath mint thing?
No.
Oh,
it says the former Deputy Commissioner of Training Michael Julian suggested officers spray protesters with baby oil during demonstrations and pop breath mints if they felt they needed to swear. Julian later was reassigned. Oh, what now? Was he serious? He had to have been like joking, like handing out candy canes at traffic stops or something. Or
yeah, that's funny.
Have
you told that story?
I don't know. Did I tell the candy cane
story?
Go
ahead and tell it.
All right. You guys know that Professor Paul used to be a police officer, and I was for many moons. And one of the cop jobs that I had, I was told by the chief that I was counseled for being too stern and serious. Now, this is after I had tried to introduce some levity into a traffic stop, lighten things up. If I'm not going to take you to jail and put handcuffs on you, we really don't need to be all grim and nasty, right? So, I introduce a little bit of levity into it. Well, I was told that traffic stops are no place for jokes or comedy, and that you need to not do that anymore. I'm like, okay, roger that. I hear you 5 by 5. So from that moment forward, it was yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, please proceed forward, strict by the book. No more jokes, no more comedy, no more smiles, because I was told that that was no place for that. Okay. Well, then 6 months later, I'm in the chief's office again, and he's like, are you angry? Is something wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm not angry. Nothing's wrong. Why? What? Well, have I done something bad? Well, no, so I hadn't done anything worth disciplining. He's like, but I've gotten reports that you're just really cold and standoffish and stern, and that you're not friendly. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. This was in the police world, you get clues. These are the clues that were raining down onto me that I needed to not be doing that anymore. So, all right, it was almost Christmas time when I had this little, lighten up a little bit. Quit being so stern and serious. So I had the lovely Mrs. Markle. I asked her to go out to the store and buy me some candy canes. So she bought me 2 of the jumbo-size packages of candy canes. And I'm not talking about those little chintzy ones. I'm talking about the real ones with the crook that you could actually hang on a Christmas tree, the real big ones, right? And not those cheapo, fruity, weird ones that nobody eats anyway because they have all kinds of blue and green and, funk, but real, genuine peppermint candy canes. And so for the next, 3 or 4 weeks, every time I made a traffic stop, if the person wasn't going to get cited or arrested or whatever, if I was just going to give them a warning or tell them, hey, I would go back up to the car and I would make sure that I had a candy cane for every occupant of the vehicle, and I would hand them candy canes. I would tell them Merry Christmas and have a nice day. And I did that probably for about 3 or 4 weeks before the chief said something about, have you been giving people candy canes at traffic stops? I'm like, yeah. So that was part of my community policing effort right there, was to hand out candy canes. And would I go back to being a police officer today? No, not for $1 million. But folks, that was fun. But let's get serious. Let's talk about this whole Eric Garner thing. I haven't talked about it yet, because quite frankly, it's been talked to death. It's been talked about so much.
It's a good distraction to have.
Yeah, it's been talked about so much that I don't think most people who talk about Eric Garner or chokeholds or hands up, don't shoot or anything, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. They really don't. If you ask people what happened to Eric Garner, they'd probably tell you that he had his hands up and was shot to death or something. I don't know. They don't know. And then they're like, I can't breathe. The T-shirts that say I can't breathe.
I can't breath.
I can't breath. That was supposedly, that I can't breath thing was supposedly a really funny, not Facebook. What do you, when you change things with pictures?
Photoshop?
Yeah, Photoshop. Thank you for filling that blank in for me. Supposedly that was a very funny Photoshop there. But this is really what happened to Eric Garner. Eric Garner is living in New York City, and Eric Garner was actually out on probation for selling tax-free cigarettes. I'm sorry, he had been released because he had previously been arrested. Jared, do me a favor while you're over there, and I don't want to type on my buttons, but just research average price pack of cigarettes, New York City. Okay, Eric Garner had been arrested for selling untaxed cigarettes. Untaxed cigarettes? How dare he? Well, on the day in question, you say, what led up to the police officers confronting him on the street? Was he in the middle of committing a robbery? Was he stealing something? Was he a suspect in a kidnapping and a murder? What was it? Did they steal a car? Why were New York City police officers, why did they feel the need to confront him on the day in question? Well, if you do a little bit of research, it's really not that hard to find. And this story is actually from August 17th, 2014. NYPD's number 3, that would be third in command, ordered crackdown on selling loose cigarettes that led to the chokehold death of Eric Garner. Now, you guys dig what that's all about? You got that price yet for me? Let me know when you do.
This site, and this is from 2014, it says that the New York State imposes a tax of about $4, over $4.50, and then the New York City adds another $1 something onto it, making the price around $14.50 for a pack of 20.
So, all you guys smokers out there, I'm surprised. I was thinking it was going to be like $8 a pack, because down here it's in the South, it's like between 3 and 4. Depending on what you buy, I guess. If you want the really premium cool stuff, I guess it's around $5 a pack. But, yeah, okay, so $14 a pack of cigarettes. Now, what do we know about humans? Well, we know that when the price of anything has been artificially inflated by the government, when the government just arbitrarily decides, you know what, we don't like you smoking because we've decided that you're too stupid to know what to do on your own, so we're going to tax you out of it. If they were honest about it, if they were completely honest, they would say, hey, we're just going to make this product illegal and you won't be allowed to have it anymore. Well, A, they know that they can't get away with that, or it would be difficult to get away with that. So what they try and do is they try and modify your behavior via your pocketbook, via your wallet. Well, we're not going to make cigarettes illegal, even though we hate them and they're bad and you shouldn't have them. What we'll do is we'll impose a huge, exorbitant tax on them. Well, when Americans want something, they're going to figure out a way to get it. And what they've got is they have basically a huge black market for cigarettes, or imported or untaxed or whatever cigarettes in New York State. So Eric Garner, this is part of this. Says Chief of the Department, Philip Banks, made the order to investigate complaints over the sale of untaxed cigarettes in Thompsonville, Staten Island, a source told the news. That fierce crackdown resulted in the lethal manhandling of Eric Garner. It says, according to reports, in order to crack down on the illegal sale of 75-cent cigarettes, see, what they're doing is they're so expensive that people will bust open a pack of 20 and they'll sell you one. So you got guys standing around on the street who will sell you a single cigarette. And you're not supposed to do that, but this is America, and when things are too expensive or more expensive than they should be, people will find a way to get around it. Well, we can't have that. And apparently, Jared, I wasn't aware of this. Apparently, and here's good news for you people who, those folks who inhabit the glorious People's Republic of New York and the metropolis, I guess it's a socialist utopia of New York City. Apparently, all of the unsolved crimes in New York have been taken care of. Did you know that, Jared? Did you know that there's no more unsolved crimes, that they've figured out all of them?
That would make sense because they're spending their time dealing with this instead of the murder or the rape that happened last night.
Yeah, see, I can't imagine how you decide to send police officers out, law enforcement officers, to protect and serve. I swear to protect and serve. I can't imagine how a city would send its police officers out to crack down on the sale of loose cigarettes if there were still unsolved crimes in the city. So every murder, every theft, every robbery, every rape, every drug deal, all of those things have been taken care of. That's the only thing I can imagine, because I cannot imagine that a public official, an elected public official, would think it was a good idea to send police officers out to be tax enforcers. Eric Garner is dead because the King of New York wanted his gold. Eric Garner is dead because he didn't pay the tax. And in some places, in some slave states in the United States, failure to pay the tax can be a death sentence. Folks, I don't, well, he should have complied and he should have blah, 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 blah. Watch the video. The police officers in question, I'm sorry, but I was a cop, so I can say this, should have never even been confronting him. That is the crime. Well, doesn't matter if it's a big crime or small crime or a little crime. You just can't ignore it, Paul. Don't tell me. Shut up. Shut up. Until all of the burglaries and
Was he selling drugs?
Unsolved homicides in America are solved. Until all of the... How many people are missing property in New York? Have had their cars stolen, their stereo stolen, their phones stolen, their computer stolen, their homes broken into, and that's still an open case. We haven't returned their property to them. We haven't caught the people that did it. Know why, Jared? Because catching bad guys is hard. It's really tough to catch legitimate bad guys, prosecute them, and put them in jail. It's much easier to persecute guys who are selling loose cigarettes on the street, because apparently in America, that is the worst possible thing. Failing to pay the king his gold is the worst thing you can do in New York. And all of you folks that live up in New York, and you're telling me all about how you're fighting the good fight and blah, 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 blah. What have you done today to fight the good fight? I posted on Facebook. Oh, congratulations. You posted on Facebook. All right. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and, Jared, will you allow me a moment to swing into the plan that I have? I have an evil, devastating plan.
Sure, yeah.
It's not an evil
plan to conquer the world and
plan to take
leave
over
everyone
the world.
alone.
That's right. I want to take over America and leave everyone alone. No, but before we do that, let's go ahead and give a little bit of love to our friends at XS Sights, the fastest sights in any light. And we're looking forward to getting a set of those suppressor height sights, because Paul's been having a good time with with pistols with suppressors attached to them.
Oh, I didn't give you a pair of those?
Do you have a pair in your thing?
No.
Well, what are you talking about then?
What? They may or may not have gave me some at SHOT Show.
Really?
I didn't give them to you.
Really? We're going to have to talk.
I was going to put them on.
We're going to have to talk off air. All right, we're going to be talking off air. But anyway, Excess Sites, the fastest sites in any light. Check those guys out at excesssites.com. And, of course, our friends at SWAT Fuel, SWATfuel.com. Last night I was in the gym. I was working out. And whenever I go to the gym now, or every time I go to the gym, if I've taken SWAT Fuel as a pre-workout, and I don't always take the Plus P. Sometimes I just use the fat burner. And I find that the Plus P, it keeps you going. Like, don't take the Plus P at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If you work out in the evenings, you don't want to do that because at midnight you'll still be laying in bed thinking about everything you needed to think about. But if you take the 9 mil, the regular red pill fat burner, you get in there and you start burning fat and you get that oxygenated blood pumping to your brain. And I have to take a notebook into the gym with me because I'll be exercising, doing whatever it is I do, hitting the bag, kicking the bag, whatever, and I'll have thoughts. I'm like, for the show, for the TV show, for books, for whatever, and I got to run over and write them down. I'll take notes. The other night, I took 4 pages of notes during my 2-hour workout because my brain was SWAT fueling. Zach, you know what Zach said yesterday? Zach's been working on a video game. He's actually making a video game, designing a video game. And he says, he said, I didn't sleep as well as I wanted to last night. He goes, I better fuel up when I get to the work today, to the studio. And I was like, you're going to fuel up? He says, yeah, fuel it up. I'm like, that's awesome. Anyway, if you guys go to SWATfuel.com and you decide you want to make a purchase, make sure that you're using the promo code SOTG2014. That is SOTG2014. And you're going to save yourself 20% off of your total order. And what is that, Jared?
That's righteous.
Ah, thank you. Geez, sometimes I tell you what.
I had to give you that little pause there to make you think that I forgot.
And make me think that you forgot. Okay. All right. Let's do a quick carryover from the fight and the good fight. All right. I'm going to go ahead and assume that those of you that are part of the New York Rifle Association, the New Jersey Gun Owners Association, whatever, pretty much every state in the union has a Firearms Owners Association. And you know what's sad or ironic or strange is that the people that are most active in their Firearms Owners Associations are the ones that are in the worst states. Like here in Mississippi, I'm assuming that we have one. Do we have like a Mississippi Gun Owners Association of Mississippi or something? I'm guessing we do, but they don't have to be all that active because we're not under assault constantly every single day like you are in New Jersey and Massachusetts and Connecticut and New York and California and Washington State and so forth. So here's the deal. You guys are out there and you said, well, all right, smart guy, what should we do? I mean, besides posting on Facebook and voting once every 2 years, what should we do? I'll tell you what you should do. You need to do something positive. You need to do something proactive. If you think that the return of liberty in the United States of America is going to start at the top, that the people at the very top are going to decide, you know what, we really haven't been behaving properly here these last several decades, and we're going to loosen the strings up a little bit. We're going to loosen the chains around the necks of the slaves, and we're going to give them a little bit more liberty, and hopefully that liberty will trickle down to everybody. If you think that's going to happen, I believe you're sadly mistaken, because that's what we've been trying to do. What we've been trying to do is we've been trying to write letters to our representatives and make phone calls, and we've been trying to vote ourselves back into liberty, expecting that the elected representatives at the top are going to get the message and, you know, basically follow the rules that were established 200 years ago. They're going to follow the law. They're going to follow the Constitution. They're not just going to create bureaucracies that are unchecked. It's not going to happen. It has to start the other way. It has to start at the bottom, at the ground. And that's where you come in. And that's where your neighbors come in. Because it doesn't matter how many letters you write if they can just take them and throw them in the garbage and keep doing what they want to do. You will always have the leaders that you deserve, that you have coming to you. Whoa, what do you mean? I don't deserve it. As a collective, the reason that you have morons in New York trying to ban machetes is because you've all been so reasonable and well thought. You've been such good, comfortable slaves that these morons get elected. The Patriot Fire Team. What's this Patriot Fire? You keep talking about this Patriot Fire Team thing. You just want to sell books. You know what? I don't want to sell anything. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to patriotfireteam.com. You can go there for free. The website is up, right, Jared?
Yep.
It's up.
And we just released an article about tasers versus stun guns on there too. So.
Yep. There's articles that you can read free for nothing.
And you've got the citizenship test. If you haven't taken that yet, go take it and give it to your friends and have them take it. It's food for thought, really.
Absolutely. If you don't know your rights and responsibilities as a citizen, how can you expect your leaders to know? How do you expect? Because they obviously don't. The people that are sitting in Washington, D.C., when you hear the words that come out of their mouths, they've obviously never read the Constitution or the Bill of Rights, and forget the Federalist Papers and, the Articles of Confederation. I know that's an old document. Forget about John Locke and all that. They don't learn stuff like that. They just go there and just kind of make it up as they go along. Folks, go to patriotfireteam.com. And after you've browsed around and read the articles, if you want to have more, if you need more information, you feel like, hey, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, sign up for the newsletter. You put your name, your first name in, and you go down to the bottom, there's a red button. You scroll down, there's a red button that says join us, right, Jared?
Yes, it says something like that.
It's not over on the right-hand side. I was corrected. And
it's in the middle, so you don't miss it.
It's in the middle. Anyway, what you're going to get just for your first name and email address after you confirm it is the special report, How to Get Started. And that's going to give you something to do, something positive to do, other than complain on Facebook. It's going to give you direction. And we've been doing this for over a year now, going on 2 years, I guess, but at least over a year. And when we started getting obviously more and more questions, what about this, what about that, what about the other? I need more specifics, and that's why I did the book Patriot Fire Team, Preserving the Republic 4 Men at a Time.
And here's the deal. He didn't say this, but I'm going to. If you're not serious about the Patriot Fire Team, if you're not serious about the concept, we don't want you on the list. Right now we have a very active list of people that actually help each other, help us, we help them, and a very just active list that communicates with each other. And we don't want people on there that are not going to participate. So if you're on there and you don't participate, please unsubscribe. And if you aren't going to participate, then don't subscribe in the first place.
That's right. This is not.
Like, I don't want, like, that list is not to sell stuff to you. That list is for serious people that we actually want to help.
Yeah, this is big boy stuff. This is people that are actually genuinely dedicated to restoring the representative republic that is the United States of America. If you're passionate about that, and I hope that you are, you may be thinking I am passionate, or I'm thinking about being passionate, or I don't understand. At very least, go there, read a few articles, get the free report and how to get started. And the reason I'm mentioning this right now is because we've gotten several emails, numerous emails, and messages on Facebook and what have you that says, I work with the XYZ gun owners, the New Jersey state, the New York state, the Washington state, the Oregon state, you name it. I work with these people that are a state's gun rights organization, whatever the name happens to be. And what can we do to do more? How can you help us do more? Well, I'm telling you right now how I can help you. I'm telling you right now how we here can assist you. And if you're a member of one of these organizations, you owe it to yourself to pop over there, because it's step by step. It's what you can do in a positive, proactive manner. And that's what we're lacking in the United States of America. We're really good at complaining about stuff. We are excellent. We set the standard. We set the bar high in how to complain. Dude, I can complain on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram all at the same time. You know? But what are you doing that is positive, that is real, that is proactive? That is the question. And that's really all I have to say about that. If you are involved in one of these organizations, if you're listening to my voice right now and you say, hey, Paul, I'm part of the Michigan Gun Owners Alliance or I'm part of the Pennsylvania whatever, go to the PatriotFireteam.com. Go to Patriot Fire Team, check it out, read it, and right there, that's your guide to do something positive, to work with other people, to start at the ground level. Because when it comes down to it, whether it's a state, a city, or a country, as a collective, we end up with the leaders or representatives that we deserve.
Speaking of being, starting at the ground level and helping people and stuff like that, let's talk about some youth, because they are the future.
Youth? That's right. I believe the children are our future.
The children are the future. Oh, real quick, before we get into this story,
we got to get moving.
Yeah, I've been invited to an event it's Red Round NRA, the time of the NRA show. I've been invited to an event that has to do with youth, and so stay tuned, and I'll give you some more information about that in the future.
All right, we'll talk about that on Monday. All right, folks, and geez, it's Thursday. That means that this is the last public broadcast.
And the bonus hour gets tactical tutor tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. We're going to give you the tactical tutor because it's the last. Well, it'll be the 6th by the time the next one goes out. So that's how nice we are. All right, folks. Jared's going to pull up this audio right now. You may have heard it, you may not have, but we want to make sure that you're aware of this. A 12-year-old boy in Georgia has called out Comrade Barry. And this is a little kid that is not Obama's son. You know how he's proud of saying if he would have had a son, he would have looked like Trayvon Martin? Well, this kid is not his son, and this kid calls him out. You got that queued up? All right, go ahead and listen to it. This is the voice of a middle schooler from Georgia who also happens to be the same ethnicity as Comrade Barry.
Hi, my name's CJ Pearson, and today I wanted just to applaud Mayor Rudy Giuliani for his comments about President Barack Obama. Here's the truth of the matter. I don't want to be politically correct. I don't care about being politically correct at this point. President Obama, you don't love America. If you really did love America, you would call ISIS what it really is. An assault on Christianity, an assault on America, and a downright hate values our country holds. Of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and every single thing that our country stands for. If you loved America, President Obama, if you loved America, you wouldn't try to take away what hardworking Americans have worked for their entire lives. You wouldn't do this if you loved the people of America. And when it takes a mayor, the former mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani, to call you out on your downright hatred for America, then so be it. I applaud him for his comments, and I definitely do hope that one day other people will get enough guts to speak out against your downright hatred for this nation.
All right, it's like the whole video is like 3.5 minutes long. That's amazing. First of all, it's amazing that the NSA hasn't taken that down, hasn't made that go away. It's amazing that they haven't called the folks at Google and demanded that they remove it as hate speech. But it's out there. That's the great thing about the Internet. Once it gets out there, it's out there. No matter how much the powers that be, no matter how much Big Brother hates it and doesn't like it being there. That's the great thing about this program, the way we do it, is once it gets out there, it's gone. It's whew, it can't be taken away.
It downloads to thousands of
thousands
immediately as soon as it's released.
So even if they were, the NSA or Big Brother was to scrub it because they don't like it, then it's too bad. It's already out there. So congratulations and good job.
That was a very well-spoken middle schooler.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
A 12-year-old.
Yeah.
You want to jump in and hit the Great White North Canadian update?
Yeah, we can move into the what did you call it?
What's that?
What'd you call it?
The
The Great White North.
Great White North?
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Take off through the great white north. Take off. It's a beauty way to go. Take off through the great white north.
Thank you, Geddy Lee, for giving us our Canadian update theme. And this is sad, but I think it might be a lie. I think this might be propaganda. It says, man who died in Calgary Hospital was wounded in rural home invasion. Now, that can't be, because what do we know about Canada? Well, we know that Canada is very, very proud of its strict gun control. We know that it's very proud of its licensing requirements and the restrictions on what you're allowed to own, where you're allowed to own it, how you can store it. We've had people from Canada tell us that, even if you do own a handgun, it is illegal for that handgun to either not be in your direct control or locked in a safe somewhere. It can't just be ready for you to use to defend your home. So Mounties say a man who died after showing up at a Calgary hospital with gunshot wounds, said early Monday, a 67-year-old who had been injured in a home invasion robbery north of the city. City police were called to yada, yada, yada. Around 2 a.m., multiple gunshot wounds. The man later died. Now, RCMP said 3 masked suspects entered the property and got into a struggle with the occupants. Now, folks, stop yourself for a second. I thought we've been told that the more gun control you have, the better, because that keeps criminals and bad people from getting a hold of guns. Is that not correct? And wasn't it Diana DeGette, the double D from Colorado, that told us, just call 911 and the police will come and save you? You don't need guns like that. But then she also said, you'll probably be dead anyway. So thanks, Diana, for predicting the future. That's what happens when you rely on 911, aren't prepared to protect yourself.
Well, if those pesky Americans didn't have their guns,
It's
it probably wouldn't have
our
made it
fault.
across the border.
That's right. They're probably going to try and pin that on us. The reason that gun control doesn't work in Canada is because Americans have too many guns. Actually, there is a story we don't have time to talk about that one of our friends sent us, that they're complaining in Canada that criminals are getting guns in Canada, but it's America's fault. And if we had more gun control, then Canadian criminals wouldn't get. Not that criminals are always going to find a way, because they are criminals. It's too bad that, heroin and crack cocaine and stuff is not illegal, because if they would just make them illegal, then people wouldn't be able to have them. They wouldn't be able to buy them. That's what they need to do. They need to make crack cocaine and meth and heroin. They need to make those illegal so that people won't be able to find them. Oh, that's right, they can. So I'm not trying to make light of this man's death, and I think it is sad. But here's the deal, folks. Gun control works. It does. It keeps guns out of the hands of good people and makes sure that only the state and criminals possess guns. And that, the Canadian example, is the example that all your hippie liberal statist puke faces in D.C., in New York, and Connecticut, and Massachusetts, California, they think that's the model that we need to follow. Do you think that's the model that we need to follow? All right, I've got a show note about good news from Wisconsin, but quite frankly, I'm out of time. That's it, folks. So we're going to bump that down into the bonus hour. All of you grad program members, we will be with you tomorrow. We've got a whole bunch of cool stuff to talk about. All of you who are public listeners, that is cool too, but we're not going to be talking to you until Monday. Until then, we hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Be a patriot. Be an American. Try and live like a free man or a free woman. Until then, remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a, what now? A student for life.